5 weeks after Wayne Gretzky left Indianapolis in November of 1978, he returned to face his old teammates as an Edmonton Oiler. Former racer Eddie Mio starts in goal for the Oilers, and former racer favorites Blair McDonald and Peter Driscoll also skate for the opposition. Calling the game is the radio voice of the Racers, Mike Fornes, who also interviews Oilers coach Glenn Sather about the young Wayne Gretzky. We believe this almost complete game is the longest running piece of Indianapolis Racers game footage that still exists. If you look closely, you can see the collection of banners made by me and my fellow superfans at the top of Market Square Arena. We didn't know it then, but the 6-4 victory by Indianapolis on December 10th, 1978 would be the team's last ever. The Racers franchise would fold just 5 days later.
We'll join WIBC's Mike Fornes and the Racer action right after these messages.
Once you see the Racers, we're sure you'll be back again. 'Cause the Indianapolis Racers are the hottest thing on ice.
Stan Weir across the line to Bailey, and the play was offside, so we'll have a face-off now back in neutral ice with 5:49 left to go in the first period. If you're just joining us, the Oilers lead this game 2-0 on goals by Blair McDonald, his 11th of the season, from former racer Peter Driscoll. That came only 1:34 into the game. And then at 11:52, it was Dennis Sobchuk, his 10th goal of the year, from Flett and Chipperfield at 11:52. So the Oilers with 2 goals, the Racers with nothing here in the first period. Right now, 5:40 left to go in period 1. Gary Innes, the Racer goaltender, to our right, knocks it away to the near corner for Al McLeod. Put it out to Parizeau, stolen by Weir. Stan Weir bounces one in the far corner. Mike Parizeau in to pick it up. Parizeau tried to clear it out. It's knocked loose at the point. Knocked away there by Kevin Nugent, who dumps it out to center, and Claire Alexander of the Oiler defense goes back to get it. Trading passes with Rudy Tajnar. Tajnar up ahead to center now for Dave Hunter. He's hit by Inkpen, and Ronald Leclerc comes in to take it, flips it beyond Parizeau, and it goes back inside the Oiler line. Hamilton with Micheletti out to center ice for Hunter. Dave Hunter puts it back in the Racer zone to the far corner. Bounces behind the net. Gary Ennis back to pick it up. Drops there for Inkpen. Dave Inkpen, left wing side now for Al McLeod. McLeod puts it on the far side. Peter Driscoll over to take it. Ties up with Leclerc, and Micheletti knocks it free. Puts it back in the near corner once more of the Oilers zone. Parizeau dumps it back to Nugent. Nugent tried to clear it back to Parizeau. Stolen. Here come the Oilers. McDonald up to former racer Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky to center. Got across the blue line. Drop past Driscoll. Shot is knocked away, and Leclerc comes in with a loose puck and clears to the far corner. Here's Ronald Leclerc up to center ice. Got across the blue line. Drops for Nugent. Shooting. Mio with a save with his glove, and he holds on, holding it to the left side, and play is stopped there. My name is Mike Fornes with Al Carlander here at Market Square Arena. 2-0 lead with the Edmonton Oilers ahead of the Indianapolis Racers here, and we'll have a face-off to the left side of former racer Eddie Mio as Pat Stapleton sends out a new line now for the Racers.
We got Gary McGregor out there taking a draw, Mike, and I think he's really improving on these face-offs. I was talking to him this morning, and he was saying that he's starting to cheat a little bit more, and he's starting to argue with those linesmen, get better position in there.
Draw goes back to Micheletti, left wing side now for Peter Driscoll. Driscoll flips it outside the line. It'll bounce to center ice, and John Hughes is back to take it. Here's Hughes. Backhands the puck into the Oilers zone. Satcheruk in the corner tries to dig it out. Satcheruk being held by Al Hamilton. Now John Hughes in to bump against McDonald. The puck cleared back inside the Racer zone. Defenseman Brian Baltimore, playing in his first game in a Racer uniform tonight since being acquired from the Cincinnati Stingers, throws it back to the Oilers zone. Driscoll ahead for McDonald too far, and it'll go behind the net. Innes knocks it away to the corner. There's Driscoll and Baltimore in there to jam up now, and they had the puck frozen for a moment. Now McDonald digs it free. McDonald to the side of the Racer net. Tried to backhand it in front, but McGregor right there to hang on to him. Gary McGregor, who had the hat trick against the Winnipeg Jets the other night, starts it out to Larry Satcheruk. Satcheruk with Larway, slap shot on goal, and Mio made the save. Rebound, and McGregor fanned on his attempt to clear it. Now McDonald trying to feed it ahead to center iceman Wayne Gretzky. It went too far, and John Hughes takes it, clears it back out to McDonald, and the play is called here. We'll have an offside and a face-off out of neutral ice with 3:19 left to go in the first period. It'll be Stoughton on right wing now with Dave Morrow at center ice and Bruce Gregg on the left side. Defensively, the Racers go with Glenn Irwin, teamed up with Ken Block. Chipperfield on for the Oilers with Cowboy Flood and Dennis Sobchuk. Schmier is back to play defense for the Oilers. He is paired up with Dave Langevin. Oilers lead 2-0 in this game. Just 3 minutes, 10 seconds left to go here in the first period. Ken Block over to Glenn Irwin. Irwin with the puck up to Dave Morrow. Morrow to center ice. Morrow across the line. Slap shot goes wide. Bounces back to the near corner. At the point, block shooting. That's knocked away by the stick of Eddie Mio. And the Oilers start out. Chipperfield up ahead to center. Puts it back in the near corner. Gary Innes for the Racers to take it off the glass. Flett knocks it down in the corner for Edmonton. Backs it to the point. Now Paul Schmier kept it in. Puts it behind the net for Cowboy Flett. Flett out to Chipperfield. Walking in on his backhand. Tried to center it. Oh, good play by Ken Block. Good stick check to knock the puck free, and it goes back to Bruce Gregg. Now Gregg with a puck to start it out. Gregg, right wing side for Blaine Stoughton. Stoughton ahead to center ice. Up across the blue line. Feeds in the far corner for Bruce Gregg. Here's Gregg with it behind the net. Had it knocked away by Chipperfield. Chipperfield starts out. Gregg steals it, and he lost it again to center ice. Dave Morrow to pick it up from there. Dave Morrow for the Racers. Up across the Edmonton blue line. His shot is on target. Save made by Mio to the corner. Back to the point. Block kept it in. Gives to Nugent. Now to Stoughton, a shot. Kicked out of there by Mio to the side. In behind the goal again is Nugent. Nugent back there bouncing with Chipperfield, and they tie up behind the goal, and play is called. With 1:56 left to go here in the first period, this is Indianapolis Racers hockey. Mike Fornes with Al Carlander at MSA, and John Hughes goes to the near corner, tosses it behind the Indianapolis net. Right wing side, it goes to Mike Parizeau. Parizeau to center. 1.5 minutes remaining in the first period. Puts it back to the near corner. Mio back there to tie up. Now had it lost in front. Finally cleared it away to the far side, and Rudy Tajnar is there to take the puck. Here's Tajnar. Up ahead to center for Stan Weir. Flips it back into the near corner of the Racers zone. Parizeau back to get it. Right wing side for LeClaire. Back to the point. Tajnar kept it in. Gives to Hunter. Hunter checked by Baltimore. Brian Baltimore in there to tie him up, and he holds him against the far corner boards, and play is called. Tonight, the first game back in a Racer uniform for Brian Baltimore, Al, as he was acquired from the Cincinnati Stingers, and apparently some compensation has been agreed upon between the Racers and the the Stingers, I should say.
Yeah, it has, Mike. I think Brian's going to add a lot more to our defense, really. We've got to cut down our goals against. We're averaging almost 5 goals against a game, and Brian's capable of doing that. Really, to make room for Brian back there, we moved Larry Satrick up to left wing. He's a right-hand shot. He's playing the offside on the left wing, but he's a good offensive hockey player.
Slap shot from the point by Tajnar, knocked away. We're in the final minute of play in the period. Puck goes behind the net. There's Parizeau in to check Weir, and John Hughes comes out with it. Leads it ahead to Ronald LeClaire. LeClaire digging his way to center ice to Nugent. Back to LeClaire. LeClaire in across the blue line. On his backhand, centers it to Parizeau. Oh, Nugent got off a shot, but it was cleared to the far corner. Now LeClaire tried to center again. Nobody there. Back out to John Hughes. Hughes checked on the play. Here comes Alexander to center ice. 30 seconds left in the period. To Dave Hunter. High shot. Knocked away by Innes. He clears it out to the far side. Here comes Ronald LeClaire now. Out across the center ice line. Brings it inside the blue line. Checked on the play on the right wing. Now tried to center, and he was hauled down off his skates. No call. Here's a slap shot by Inkpen on goal. Rebound. And it's cleared out again by the Oiler defense. Now Hunter starts it out to McDonald. McDonald with a puck, flips it on the right wing side. Racers changing up on the fly, and Grettzky pokes it ahead inside the Racer zone. His shot goes wide of the Racer cage. Time runs out now. We've completed one period of play here at Market Square Arena, and the Edmonton Oilers have taken a 2-goal lead over the Racers, who fought back quite a bit there during the final stages of the second period and had one great chance for Bruce Gregg, but the puck hit the goalpost. So the way it stands right now, after 2 periods of play, the Edmonton Oilers 2 and the Indianapolis Racers nothing. We're back once again at Market Square Arena. Mike Fornes along with Al Carlander, as the Indianapolis Racers have fallen to a 2-0 deficit to the Oilers of Edmonton, and kind of a tough first period for us, Al. The Oilers got off to a good start there with a couple of goals, and the Racers had only one near miss to show for their efforts.
Really, I think it was a very good period of hockey. Both clubs were really hustling, and I think both clubs were going for those loose pucks. The Racers have to start beating the opposition to those loose pucks. tonight they did most of the time. Edmonton's been jumping too. I think we've had a good hard-hitting first period, some good action out there.
The Oilers had a couple of chances too. There was one where Claire Alexander shot from the near point, and that one stands out in my mind. Gary Ennis made a big save there to keep our cause alive.
Well, really, it was screened screened a lot, really. There was 2 or 3 players in front of the net, and he got the shot on the net and on the corner. I think Gary just saw it the last second and got his arm up to make the save on it.
Okay, let's take a look at the goal scoring during the first period here. We'll check out, first of all, the first goal the Oilers scored. Blair McDonald got it, his 11th of the season, and Peter Driscoll assisted as McDonald went in and picked the top corner, beating Ennis high on the glove side.
Peter made a good forechecking effort there. He took out John Hughes behind the net, and then he fed the puck out into the slot area, and I think Langevin, the defenseman, came in, picked it up, and he fed it across to Blair McDonald, and Blair he likes to go for that top corner on the glove side on a goaltender, and he waited till Gary Ennis went down a little bit, and he wired it right up top.
The Racers did have a great chance, one to speak of, where they had the puck hit the goalpost. Bruce Gregg had just taken a tremendous pass out from Angie Moretto, and that was about the only really close chance that the Racers had, although Mio played some good goal against us during that period.
He did, especially late in the period. One shift there, we had about 5 good scoring opportunities. The guys were forechecking, and every time they got the puck out inside that area, they were shooting it on net. They had some good shots on net, but Eddie was equal to the challenge.
The Racers, as I mentioned, had a couple of chances in which Mio responded with some big saves, and it takes us back to not too long ago when we used to hear the crowd chanting Mio, Mio here at the arena tonight. There's none of that this evening. Now he's a member of the Oilers.
No, they're not cheering for him, but I think a lot of the people are appreciating his play so far. He's kept us off the scoreboard, and he's come up with the big saves.
The biggest chance the Racers had during the first period came when Angie Moretto got across the blue line and passed the puck to Bruce Gregg. Gregg came walking in and tried to get off a shot as he deked. He tried to just let the puck trickle toward the Edmonton goal, and close, but no cigar there.
Yeah, he made a good move on it. He was skating, and I think that's one of the reasons he got the good opportunity. And when he got it, he come in on Eddie Mio. I'm getting these goaltenders up backwards here, but he made the good move. He waited till Eddie committed himself. He went to the short side on him, and he tried to tuck it into the open part of the net. Actually, I think maybe he would have had room to cut in front of the net and fire it right in there, but he tried to smooth it in, and he just caught the post.
You know, the Racers have had changes this year at all parts of the game, really, all types of positions and everything. And, you know, you look at the one-loss record as far as goaltenders between the Racers and the Oilers, and you got Mio winning for Indianapolis, you got Mio winning for Edmonton. It's getting like the Cincinnati Stingers and the Racers. It's hard to keep track of who's what.
Well, he's played awful well. He played awful well when he was here with us. He picked up 2 of the wins for us early in the year. He's below 500 with Edmonton right now, but he had a couple of injuries when he first got up there. I think Eddie would like to get healthy and settle down and start being their #1 goaltender. Actually, I think Dryden's been playing most of the games for him lately.
The other goal that the Oilers scored occurred at the 11:52 mark. Dennis Sobchuk getting his 10th of the year from Flett and Chipperfield, and that made it 2-0 Oilers as Sobchuk, again, taking a good pass. Cowboy Flett was the guy who really made the goal work. He passed it out and got it in front of the net, and there was Sobchuk right away. Sobchuk, again, working well with Cowboy Flett. Cowboy's going to play well, I think, no matter where you put him.
I think he will. He has that experience, but he held the puck in the corner there, and he waited for somebody to break into the opening, and Sobchuk wasn't the first man that broke into the opening. There was a few other guys that broke in there, and somebody picked him up and covered him, and finally, we kind of ran out of bodies in front of the net to cover whoever was dangerous, and when Sobchuk broke into the opening, he was all alone, and Flett threw the puck right through somebody's feet, right in front of Sobchuk, and he just stepped right into it and fired it.
Shots on goal during that first period. The Racers had an advantage of 10 shots to 8. We only had one penalty that took place during the first period of play, and that was the Dave Langevin for tripping at the 141 mark. Again, the Racers only getting one chance to work with a power play tonight, Al, but they've been impressive on that the last couple of games.
They have. I think Edmonton really did a good job of it tonight. They've got a lot of good checkers on their team. And really, Glenn Sather likes to keep the games pretty close. He likes to check, especially on the road. So he's got a lot of guys that are very strong defensively, and they're a tough club to score on when you got a power play opportunity. They stand up at that blue line, and they really don't let you get into their end and set it up. But we looked okay on it, but not as well as we have lately.
Got a couple of games out of town tonight that we're going to be taking a look at a little later on. Cincinnati is at Birmingham and Quebec is at Winnipeg, and both of those will just be getting started here in about 10 minutes or so. When we come back, we've got Glenn Sather slated to appear on our intermission show. Glenn is the coach of the Edmonton Oilers, so stay with us. This is Indianapolis Racers hockey. Back once again at Market Square Arena, Mike Forens, the voice of the Racers, along with Glenn Sather, the coach of the Edmonton Oilers Hockey Club, who has a couple of new players performing for his team here tonight. And right away, I want to ask you about Rudy Tajnar, who's in your lineup this evening and playing back on defense. We were wondering during the broadcast earlier this evening whether you had put him with Claire Alexander so that Alexander can continue rushing the puck like he likes to do. Would you say Tajnar is pretty much just a defensive defenseman?
Rudy came to us kind of a roundabout way, but he is a rushing defenseman. Last year he had 60 points in the American League, and he's got a great shot, but he's been a little bit out of condition. He hasn't played since last year in February, I believe it was, and he's just starting to get back in shape. He reported us at 240 pounds, and he plays at about 230, so he's a big man, and he's just a little bit slow right now, and playing with Claire skates so well that he can get back and cover up for Rudy if he has any problems, and really that's the reason that they're together.
Glenn, you've got three of our players in your lineup tonight. When we look back at that trade that happened, or that sale that took Eddie Mio, Wayne Gretzky, and Peter Driscoll, they becoming members of the Edmonton Oilers club, what have they meant to your hockey team?
Well, it's a little bit early to say what they've meant to us, but, you know, with Eddie being hurt, he's a great goaltender. He's just starting to play again. Peter Driscoll is a great competitor, and I've liked his style of play for the 3 years that I've watched in this league, and I tried to make some deals to get him last year, and I couldn't. And when he became available this year, he was really the guy that I went after to start off with. And then from there, it just kind of blossomed into a little bit bigger. And, of course, Grettzky, I mean, you'd be crazy to turn that down. Grettzky has all the moves in the world of a superstar, and the guy of his age and his talent, you're never going to get another opportunity to do anything like that. And Eddie Mio is an all-star goaltender. His record right now doesn't indicate that, but he's been hurt. He's been playing under kind of poor circumstance. He had a bad back and he had a bad knee, and he's just starting to come back and play well.
Glenn, there have been those people who have said that Wayne Gretzky has really blossomed since becoming a member of the Oilers. Do you think he's come more into his own now?
I think so. I think when he came to Edmonton, he was having some problems here in Indianapolis, and I've been playing him regular. I've been putting him on the power play. He's killed penalties. He's done everything, and I don't believe in bringing a guy along slow. If he's going to play, he's going to play and be part of the team, and I'm just not going to hand coach him. I try and guide him a little bit, but he doesn't want to be coddled. He wants to be played and treated like a member of the hockey team, and if he makes a mistake, he gets the grief like anybody else does, and I treat him the same as the rest of the players, and he appreciates that.
17 years old or not, I guess you're nobody till you get traded once, right?
That's right. It can happen to anybody.
Glenn, we'd like to thank you for coming on with us. We've got dinner for two for you here at J. Pierpont's over at 148 East Market Street in Indianapolis. Once again, thanks for coming on as our guest at the first intermission. Good luck to you and the Oilers.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Glenn Sather, our guest at the first intermission of tonight's game. When we come back, play-by-play for period number 2. This is Indianapolis Racers hockey. Mike Forens with Al Carlander back once again at Market Square Arena. We've got a 2-0 hockey game here as the Edmonton Oilers have taken the lead over the Racers during that first period of play, and the Racers will set out to try and play catch-up once again to the Oilers. We have taken really, Al, only one real pasting from the Oilers. That was 8-2 up at Edmonton. They beat us 6-1 at Edmonton once before that. That was the night of all the action with the police and Bruce Gregg involved, and 4-3 victory, Edmonton winning here. So when you look at games played at Market Square Arena, we've only got one to show, and that has been a very close game in which the Oilers got it by 1 goal.
Yeah, really, we had the early lead, I think, in that game too, didn't we, Mike? And we lost it in the third period. I said in the first period, really, we need to get an early lead because I think it'll give the guys a little bit more confidence and whatnot. But as well, in the third period, our production is pretty low, so we can't really, going by that, we can't rely on the third period to win too many games. But it's going to be pretty close checking here. I think we've got to open it up a little bit more, gamble a little bit more, and get some goals in there right away.
All right, face-off taken there as Cowboy Fleck clears over to Chipperfield, and he dumps it back inside the Indianapolis zone, which is now to our left. Blaine Stoughton to start it out to Dave Inkpen. Inkpen off the near boards, got it ahead to Stoughton, knocked away by Sobchuk, cleared it back to center ice. Inkpen takes it for Indianapolis. Flips to the far corner. Al Hamilton goes in after it. Here's Hamilton in behind the net. Starts it out. Morrow stole the puck, almost got a shot off, but couldn't get the puck back on his stick. Now Chipperfield charges to center, got into the Racers zone, and McLeod plays it back to center ice. Dennis Sobchuk puts it back to the Racer line for Inkpen. Inkpen, right wing pass for Stoughton. Got across the line. Knocked away with a poke check by Micheletti. And Micheletti starts it ahead. Gives to Chipperfield. Drop pass. Hamilton a shot. That goes wide of the Racer cage. Back to the near corner now. It's sent to the point. Micheletti with it. Joe Micheletti walking in. Gives to Sobchak in the corner. Centers to Flett. Shooting. Knocked down. Innes cleared it, and then Chipperfield drove it wide on the rebound. It goes to the corner for Chipperfield. Ron Chipperfield back to the point. Hamilton, a drive. Kicked out of there by Innes, and then he sprawled on top and made the save as Sobchak appeared to have been hit by either that shot or else a stick as he went down. And the Oilers now come out now to take a look at Dennis Sobchak as it appeared as though he was injured.
I don't think so, Mike, but really, we got to start tying up these guys in front of the net. They had 2 scoring opportunities there. Chipperfield almost knocked one into the open net because nobody was grabbing them in front. And as well, when those shots are from the point, you have to tie up that stick. You don't want to let that guy to be able to get his stick on it and deflect that shot. Just standing beside him isn't good enough. You have to tie him up.
18:54 left to go, second period. The Oilers leading 2-0 over the Racers here at Market Square. Brian Baltimore drops it back to John Hughes from the draw. Hughes in the Racer zone to our left. Leads it ahead to center. It goes beyond McGregor all the way down. Should be an icing call here as Schmier is back to touch it. And that is the case, and we'll go back inside the Indianapolis zone now for a face-off. Face-off cleared to the far corner where John Hughes goes after it. Leads it back to the point, kept in there by Schmier. Paul Schmier to the far corner now for Baltimore. Baltimore, the Racers, leads it ahead, intended for Larway on the right wing, but it's knocked away by Langevin, and as he clears it back inside the Indianapolis zone, Driscoll a bit slow in coming out of that end, so it's an offside call against the Edmonton Oilers. The offside pass will have a face-off now right at the center ice line. Gary McGregor, who had the hat trick against the Winnipeg Jets the other night, at center to work against former teammate Wayne Grettzky. Grettzky got the draw. That's one of the few he has won from McGregor tonight. McGregor seemingly has taken most of the face-offs. Langevin to chase it back to his own line. Over to Paul Schmier. He's the captain of the Oilers. Up to Wayne Grettzky. Off the far board. Sacharuk took it back. Here's Larry Sacharuk for the Racers. Starting up to center ice now. Sacharuk got to the blue line. Now Larway takes it. Don Larway of the Racers. Back to Hughes. He'll just slap it inside the Oilers zone. On the near boards. Driscoll tied up by Larway. Langevin takes it free, gives to Grettzky. Right wing pass out to McDonald. Blair McDonald at center ice, knocked away, and Schmier goes back now and puts it inside the Racer zone. Innes plays it away quickly to the point. Langevin kept it in. His drive, skate save made by Innes. Back to the near corner. Again at the point. Langevin a shot. Knocked down, and Driscoll chases to the blue line. Schmier keeps it inside the Racer zone. Grettzky bumped there by Gary Innes. Puck to the near boards. Now here's Gary McGregor checked on the play, and Driscoll again comes up with it at center ice. Oilers lead it 2-0. John Hughes pokes it back to the Oiler line. Langevin from Schmier. Bumped by Larway, and Sacharuk takes it back. Here come the Racers on a break. Sacharuk shooting. Save is made by Mio, and he holds on now at the side after clearing. And Mio had to stop that quick shot from the stick of Larry Sacharuk, and he came up with a good save there. Sacharuk with 9 assists in the game, Al, and he's still gunning for that first goal. He can really go when he wants to with a puck.
Really, he can, and it's really surprising, I think, that he hasn't scored a goal. He must be in a little bit of a slump right now, goal scoring. Actually, he's only played, I think, about half as many games as anybody else, and he's about third on our team in shots on net, so he is due to score a goal.
Stan Weir in to work the face-off. Had it knocked away. Parizeau drew it back, but it skidded by Inkpen. It'll go all the way down in the Racer zone. Inkpen to pick it up. Bumped hard by Dave Hunter. Parizeau now takes it. Left wing side for Kevin Nugent playing the off wing, and he'll flip it all the way down. Rudy Tajnar back to pick it up behind the net. Touches it, and icing is called. And we again go back inside the Racer zone to face off to the left side of Gary Innes. Ware in there to work now against Mike Parizeau. Ron Foyt to drop the puck, and Parizeau got the draw over to Inkpen. Takes it behind the net. Slides it away from Weir. It comes out to Parizeau, moving into his own line. Out of center, just missed Nugent with a pass. It goes into the far corner, and there's Tajnar to pick it up. Rudy Tajnar back to the far point. McLeod kept it in, right to the goal mouth, and Leclerc tries to knock it free. Now Tajnar in the corner. Starts it out to Weir. Off his skates. Taken back now by Tajnar. Rudy Tajnar throws the puck to Claire Alexander. Alexander to Ware. Ware with it out to the center ice line. Moves inside the Indianapolis blue line. Knocked away by Inkpen. Here comes Parizeau with McLeod and Nugent across the line. Drop pass. Inkpen at the point couldn't get a hold of it. And we're called now. We've got a penalty coming up here for holding. First penalty of this period. As looks like the Oilers are going to take a 2-minute minor call here.
I think Stan Weir took the penalty. I was mentioning earlier, you have to tie up that guy. You got to tie up his stick. Well, Stan takes that really to heart because he grabbed right onto one of our guys' sticks when he was coming in the slot. Actually, our player would have picked up a loose puck out by the blue line and be able to walk right in and have a good shot on Eddie Mio there. And I don't know if I'd call it a good penalty or a bad penalty. He tied the guy up like he should have, but I think he went a little bit over what he had to do or what he could have done to take care of the situation.
So we've got a 2-minute minor call here to Stan Ware for holding. Racers on the power play once again. McGregor out there with Stoughton and Gregg. Satcheruk at the point with Dave Morrow. Right away, the draw cleared back inside the Indianapolis zone, and there's Morrow to pick it up. Morrow tried to start it out, had it stolen by Doug Barry. Barry puts it back in the near corner. Satcheruk to retrieve. Throws it by McDonald. It goes out to Bruce Gregg. Left wing side. Gregg out to Satcheruk. Satcheruk climbs out to center ice. Moves it across the red line. Now inside the Oilers zone. Satcheruk moving in. Shoot! Score! Larry Satcheruk gets the goal as the Racers are on the board for the first time tonight. And it comes on a power play. As Satcheruk pretty well took that one the whole length by himself. Good play by Larry Satcheruk. It's now a 2-1 lead for Edmonton. Good individual effort, really. He got it. He didn't have that great an angle. He put a lot on it. He threw it right between Eddie Mio's pads. We'll pick up the call on the goal. That's number 1 for Larry Satcheruk in the season.
Racer goal, his first of the season to number 4, Larry Satcheruk. Assisted by number 17, Bruce Gregg, and number 11, Gary McGregor. Time of the goal, 4 minutes, 18 seconds.
So McGregor helping out along with Bruce Gregg as Satcheruk nails down his first of the season. We're in the hockey game again. Now Micheletti back into his own zone. Oilers lead it 2-1. Power play, of course, is over. Here on the far side is Cowboy Flett moving out to his own line, and John Hughes steals the puck. Here's Hughes across the line to Stoughton. Winding, shooting. He fired it high, and up there was Mio to make the quick grab. And Eddie Mio hangs on to stop play. We'll have a face-off now to the left side of Eddie Mio.
I don't think Blaine's too happy with himself on that shot there. John gave him the puck and drove for the front of the net to create a screen. And I think Blaine got it out in the front of his stick or something, or pucked it out too far in front of him, and he got it really up high. I think it would have been over the net even if Eddie hadn't made the save on it. But I think he wanted to keep it low, get it down into everybody's feet and everything else. So Eddie really couldn't have a good look at it, and maybe hoping it'd go off somebody's leg and into the net.
Blaine Stoughton from the draw back to the near point for Baltimore. Baltimore walking in, centered it, nobody there. And Flett takes it back on the far side. He's tied up by Dave Morrow. Now Chipperfield works it free. Here's Ron Chipperfield to start out. Moves it ahead to the center line, and Bruce Gregg knocks it away. Gives it to John Hughes. Hughes out to Dave Morrow. Got to the blue line, but at the Oiler line, Sobchuk takes it back. Puts it back toward the Racers zone, and inside is Brian Baltimore to take the puck from Hughes. Baltimore. A racer, then a stinger, now a racer again. Flips it to center ice. Langevin up across the line to Sobchuk into the Racer zone. In behind the net, John Hughes to start out. Quick play out front. Here's a 2-on-2 break for the Racers. It's Stoughton with Morrow. Stoughton a high slap shot. That's deflected way up into the stands, and play is called. This is Indianapolis Racers hockey. Mike Fornes with Al Carlander back at Market Square Arena. 14:31 left to go here in the second period. Tajnar puts it off to the far point. McLeod, a slap shot. That sailed right to the goal crease. Racers trying to catch up to the Oilers here, who have a 2-1 lead. Now the puck goes to the far corner of the Racers zone. Innes plays it away to Parizeau. Parizeau got it to Driscoll. Knocked away. It goes to the corner again. Grettzki to Driscoll. In front. Knocked down there by Inkpen. Good play on defense. Larway moves it ahead. Ties up with Driscoll. Up on the right wing side, Don Larway moving inside the Oilers zone. And Tajnar flips it back to center ice. Now McLeod on the far boards. Knocked free. Here's McGregor across the line. Fires the slap shot, but the Oilers were already offside, so play has been called. And we're down to 13:55 left to go here in the second period.
Close call on that offside there, and I think it was a good thing because they had an awful good play developing there. Peter Driscoll took a shot on net, but I think he realized that the whistle was blown when he took the shot, and I think Blair McDonald and Wayne Grettzky were breaking in on that right side all alone. He could have just fed them and had an awful good scoring opportunity.
Dave Inkpen chasing the puck back inside the Racers zone. Left wing side, it goes to McLeod. Al McLeod, stolen by Grettzky. Shoots! Good pad save. Innocent, he clears with a stick and knocks it into the far corner. Now ball rushing over there on the far side is Alexander. Ties up with Parizeau. Puck work free. Comes out to the corner. McLeod knocked it loose. Back out to the top. At the point, Tasnar kept it in. Puts it in the far corner for Driscoll. Peter Driscoll for the Oilers. Takes a wrist shot. Knocked down. McLeod helped it out. He puts it right under the stick of goaltender Gary Innes. And Innes hangs on as play is called here. A couple of games last night in the WHA. We had the Edmonton Oilers, who are playing here tonight. They were in action down in Birmingham, and they lost by the score of 6-2. And the Soviet All-Stars beat the New England Whalers 7-4. Cincinnati was at Quebec, and they were beaten up in Quebec against the Nordiques by the score of 4-3. Puck taken out by Hunter. Right off the face-off, his backhander goes wide. Now Ace Bailey checked by John Hughes. Nugent over there to tie him up, and Ware in as well, and they hang on again and play is called.
There's been an awful lot of good battle along the boards here tonight, Mike. There was a case of it right there, but as well, our guys are fighting really hard for that puck along there. That's awful vital territory. You turn that puck over there, and anything's liable to happen in your end, because generally, when the puck's along there, you got your center and your other winger that are breaking out of your zone, and if they get the puck, then they got it. You don't have any guys back to protect your goal.
Puck cleared in behind the Indianapolis net. John Hughes over to chase Ace Bailey. Bailey tried to center, but Baltimore was there and cleared it away. Now it comes out front of the net again. Back to the point. Micheletti, a shot. Knocked down. Rebound shot. Innes got on top of it and covered. And Innes lost it just there for a moment right behind him and still managed to make the save. Hard drive taken at the point, Al, and somehow Innes saw that one through a real crowd.
He did. He made a big save, and on the rebound as well, but I think well, we talked about Brian Baltimore a little bit earlier. We saw a little bit there of what Brian adds. I think it was Ace Bailey was standing in front of the net when that shot was taken. Baldy reefed up a good one and actually sent him flying right into the shot. I think Ace Bailey blocked the shot on net, but Gary made the save on the shot from the point.
Dave Hunter back to the point now, tried to center the puck in front of the goal, but there was Baltimore again to knock it away. Here's McGregor, a break. He's only got one man back in middle at Micheletti. Tried to center it to Nugent, knocked away off Nugent's arm, and Hunter takes it back. Dave Hunter now for Edmonton. Moves it out to the center ice line, flips it back to the Racer line, and John Hughes takes the puck. Hughes to Leclerc. Gave it up in the center line to Stan Weir. Weir, a former member of the Toronto Maple Leafs, flips to the far corner. John Hughes in the Racer zone to take it. Innes shouting directions behind the net. Leads it out to Hughes. Back out now to Gary McGregor. McGregor spilled at center ice. No call. Here's Cowboy Flett. Back to Al Hamilton. Leads it ahead too far for Chipperfield. It'll go back to the near corner, and Baltimore is again there to take it. And play is called here with 12:02 left to go in the second period.
Brian Baltimore and John Hughes have just been matched together tonight on defense. I don't believe they've ever played together before, but boy, they're playing awful well out there. They're both actually standing up in that neutral ice area outside their own blue line. They're challenging those forwards, and both of them are very physical hockey players. They get a piece of that man coming down, and they've been stopping a lot of the plays out there. That's what you like to see, but in order to do that, you have to have your forwards coming back and picking up the wingers.
Puck cleared to the far corner. Now it's knocked away there as Paul Schmier takes it. Schmier checked by Bruce Gregg. Sobchuk ties up with Stoughton and Schmier. Gregg takes it out, tried to center, back to Irwin, kept it inside the zone. Not for long, though, as here comes Ron Chipperfield out to pick it up now. Chipperfield with Sobchuk. Finally, Sobchuk clears it over to Paul Schmier. Out to Chipperfield in his skates. Block ties him up. Puck goes to the far corner of the Racer zone. Irwin in behind the Indianapolis net. Stops behind the cage. Now looks to his left. Takes it out to the left side. And passes it ahead to Ken Block. Quickly to Bruce Gregg. They lost it. Kept back inside to the corner. Now Block in behind the goal. Lost it. It came out front of the net. And there's Sobchuk clearing to the point. Langevin kept it in, but his shot hit Sobchuk's skates. Bruce Gregg finally gets it back for the Racers. Gregg for Indianapolis in front of his own net. Irwin tried to clear it. Racers bottled up in their own zone. Finally, it comes out to Stoughton. Here's Blaine Stoughton racing ahead. Knocked away. Mio was way out of the net and knocked him loose right at the blue line. Now Langevin comes back to get it. It's going to be a simple case of offside, but Mio was way out of the goal there, and Blaine Stoughton did his best to try and clear it by Mio rather than try and take it around him, as Mio was full of about 55 pounds of equipment and charging right at him.
I would have been interested to see what they would have called there, because I think Blaine Stoughton actually didn't really poke it. He threw his stick at it, and because he didn't have control of his stick afterwards, it was laying on the ice, and somebody shot it into the corner. But if he would have poked it through Eddie Mio and the puck would have went into the goal, if they would have ruled that he threw his stick, or if they would have given us a goal for it.
Grettzki out there to oppose Gary McGregor, and McGregor ends up winning this draw with the help of Larry Sacharuk. Right wing side, it goes now to Dave Inkpen. Inkpen puts it in the corner. It's behind the Oiler net to the far side. McGregor over there to tie up with Alexander. Puts it out to Don Larway. Larway backboards it back to the near corner now for Inkpen. Inkpen and Driscoll tie up. Rudy Tajnar to start out. Back to the far point. McLeod kept it in. Takes the shot. Deflected. Loose, and it's cleared away by Tajnar. Now back on the stick of Larway. Tried to send it to McGregor. Still has it behind the net. Here's Larway walking out to the near corner. Larway back to the point for Inkpen. Kept it in, lost it. He gave it right up to Driscoll as he was forced to pass and threw it right away to Peter Driscoll. Driscoll throws it back inside the Racer zone, and here's Al McLeod to pick it up. McLeod in the corner. Innes will come out of the net, and he just grabs it now and hangs on as play is called with 10:03 left to go in the second period. Oilers lead at 2-1 here in the second period of the game. Kevin Nugent comes out with LeClaire, John Hughes, and Brian Baltimore. Mike Parizeau will be up front with the Racers. For the Oilers, it'll be Ware between Hunter and see who's over there on right wing for the Oilers.
Ace Bailey, I believe. He's been playing the off wing.
Bailey's going to play on the far side. It'll be Micheletti at the point with Al Hamilton. Ball's face off now, and we'll again do it to the left side of Gary Innes.
We got 4,735 people here tonight to watch this contest. Attendance, I think it's the second lowest mark of the year. We had a little bit worse crowd than that Thursday night in here against Winnipeg.
Racers have a home game coming up Tuesday night against the New England Whalers. Tickets are available through all Racer ticket outlets in central Indiana. Here's a hard shot from the point by Micheletti that hit the glass as it was deflected. Now Ware tries to center, and it's knocked away. Lead pass, LeClaire tried to poke it out to center ice, but Micheletti takes it back now for the Oilers. Gives to Stan Weir on the right side. Puck goes back inside the Indianapolis zone. Innes plays it away out to Kevin Nugent. Back to Parizeau. Parizeau behind the net. Passes out right side for Brian Baltimore. Baltimore for the Racers. Up to center. Sends it into the far corner of the Oilers zone. Hamilton back there, but Nugent poked it free. Gives to LeClaire. LeClaire run hard by Ace Bailey. Now it's knocked away, and again it comes out to Al Hamilton. Hamilton for the Oilers, who lead 2-1 over the Racers. Up to center ice. Backhands to the Racer line. Got it free now from Baltimore. Carries to the far corner. Around Hughes. Tried to center, and Hunter was waiting right there in the goal mouth. Off his stick, it's cleared ahead now for Kevin Nugent. Nugent tried to feed LeClaire on right wing. LeClaire across the line. Deaking. Knocked away. Good play in net by Eddie Mio with his stick. Now it's sent all the way back inside the Indianapolis zone. Puck goes to the far side where John Hughes is there to pick it up. Here's Hughes starting out on the right wing boards. Moves it ahead too far for LeClaire. Taken back by Sobchuk. Fans on his attempt to pass it now, leads it over to Chipperfield. Ron Chipperfield back inside the Oilers zone for Langevin. To Schmier. Right side for Flett. Hit by Hughes, and offside is called. Here we'll go back inside the Indianapolis zone. Or rather inside, just outside the Oiler end. With 8:32 left in the second period. Looks like the lines are going to stay the same here. Now they're going to bring out Inkpen and McLeod on defense. Up front it'll be Stoughton on right wing. Dave Morrow at center and Bruce Gregg on the left side. The Oilers will go with Sobchuk on the left, Flett on the right, and Chipperfield at center as they had, and it'll be Langevin on defense with Schmier. Chipperfield got the face off for a moment. Morrow reached in and grabbed it on the second try and drops it to Inkpen. He lost it to Sobchuk. He moves in front, takes the shot. Pad save to Innes. And here's Dave Inkpen, who has lost his the blade of his hockey stick, and he finally dropped it, but was using that stick shaft for quite a while. And meanwhile, Innes covers up and makes a save in front of the goal. Racers lucky there that Ron Ego didn't see that or think that Inkpen was doing it deliberately. We could have had a penalty called for using a broken stick.
No question about it. I don't know if Ron didn't see it or if he just neglected to call it. I'd have to think that he saw it because really Dave was down with that broken stick for quite a while, and he was trying to play the puck with it, so it was pretty obvious that it was broken. There was no blade on it at all.
Inkpen tried to cover it up as best he could, but finally it trickled through to Innes. Pat Stapleton keeping the lines intact now for the Racers as Stoughton is up front with Morrow and Gregg. They'll again go against Chipperfield's line. Blaine Stoughton to work the draw, won it, brought it back to Inkpen. He'll take it behind the net. Inkpen to start it out. Moves from the right side of the goal. Moves it ahead too far for Gregg. He'll hustle into the near corner after it. Got there and battles with Schmier. And now they're going to call that one back. And we're going to have a face-off back inside the Indianapolis zone, they're going to say, because of an icing play. 8:02 left to go in the second period. This is Indianapolis Racers hockey. Mike Forens with Al Carlander back at Market Square Arena. Racers against the New England Whalers here on Tuesday night. 8:05 face-off. Tickets available at all Racer ticket outlets, including Market Square Arena. Sobchuk from the face-off leads it right side for Cowboy Flat. His shot juggled by Innes. He knocks it over the goal. It goes behind the net, and Chipperfield is right there with Morrow, and they hang on now, and there'll be a draw to the left side of Gary Innes. You know, it's not just been Gary McGregor, Al, that's been doing well on face-offs. Dave Morrow and even Blaine Stoughton won a draw there a moment ago, and he's normally a winger.
Yeah, I think Blaine and Morrow are switching off depending on which side it is. Whoever's been their strong side is taking the face-off so they can draw it into the corner on their backhand. And I think on the left side of Gary Innes, I think Morrow's taking the draws. On the right side, I think Blaine Stoughton's taking them.
Draw will be to the left side of Innes. McGregor in there this time to work against first Chipperfield, and now it's going to be Dennis Sobchuk as he repositions Cowboy Flat.
Not only do you have your backhand, which is generally your stronger way to go, and you got more speed, but that linesman is not in your way. You got the open ice to maneuver your stick.
Sobchuk got this draw back to Schmier. His quick shot knocked down, and it's cleared all the way out to center ice. Langevin back to play it now. Fires off the boards, nearly hit the linesman Wayne Bonney. It goes to the corner for Gary Innes. Innes loops it back to the point. Schmier kept it in. Now it's dropped behind the Racer goal again. This time Baltimore comes in to pick it up. Brian Baltimore steers it out to center. Taken by Langevin, and he flips it up into the stands out of play. You know, tickets to all Racer home games are available in advance at the Market Square Arena box office, all LS Airs ticket outlets, and at Ross & Young at Castleton Square. Oiler goals came in the first period from McDonald and Sobchuk. The Racers have scored here in the second period. Larry Sachuruk has his first goal of the season.
I think we've had more good scoring opportunities here in the second period than we did in the first. We've seen some very good goaltending.
Grettzky starts it out, right wing side now for Blair McDonald. Across the line, wrist shot, Innes gloved it, and he held on.
When Blair McDonald goes down the wing, he generally uses that wrist shot. He doesn't slap it very often, but when he does use it, he protects that puck so well. He puts it way to the outside of him, so a defenseman or anybody that's trying to check him really can't knock the puck off his stick. And then he can get it away under control and everything else. As he did there, really, he got a good shot on net from not that good an angle.
Draw cleared back to John Hughes. Hughes in behind the Indianapolis net. Starts it out. Right side for Baltimore. Baltimore inside the Racer zone. Now leads it left wing side for John Hughes. Caroms it ahead to Sachuruk. Sachuruk with a Racer goal tonight. Flips it ahead too far for McGregor. Goes back to the near corner, and Driscoll is there to pick it up. Former Racer Peter Driscoll starts out from behind the net. Leads it to the far side for Alexander. Flips it ahead to center ice. Grettzky knocks it down. Tried to give it to Driscoll, but Baltimore plays it away. Ties up on the near side. They jam up now, and play is called. Line change now for the Racers has Parizeau coming out with Kevin Nugent and Renaud Leclerc. Dave Inkpen and Al McLeod will be out to play defense. For the Oilers, they're going to stay with Grettzky, McDonald, and Driscoll. And Tajnar will play the point, along with Claire Alexander. Draw will take place at the top of the right face-off circle as Gary Innes looks at it. 6:40 left to go here in the second period. Racers trailing 2-1, but the Racers have the goal in this period and really have had the majority of chances, as Al pointed out. Parizeau from the face-off leads it off the near boards for Leclerc. He hops inside the Oilers zone, but Alexander beat him to it. Clears it back out to center ice. Blair McDonald, also a former racer, on the far board. Parizeau knocks it free. Back to Leclerc. Now up ahead to Kevin Nugent. Nugent, a right-hand shot, playing left wing to Parizeau. Got across the line. Knocked away by Alexander, and he dumps it ahead to center ice for Gretcki. Wayne Gretcki picks it up. Can't get by Inkpen. Inkpen's hooking him, and it goes behind the net now for Al McLeod. Pass back to the near point, kept in by Tajnar, puts behind the racer net. Inkpen to play it. Tried to feed to Nugent, lost it. Here's Gretcki moving in, shoots! Save made by Innes, and he holds on as Inkpen topples on top of him there, pushed by McDonald, and now Driscoll in there with Mike Parizeau, as those two former teammates at one time, and now they're toe-to-toe. The linesman getting in there. Ron Foyt separates them, and a good play there by Gary Innes, as he not only made the save, Al, but then had to cover up on it.
Yeah, Peter Driscoll actually pushed Dave Inkpen over Gary Innes, but I don't think he was mad at Inky. I think what it was is he was a little upset maybe with Wayne for not giving him the puck there. Wayne took the shot, and he didn't get very much on it. He really didn't have a good scoring opportunity. He should have slid it over to Peter Driscoll, because Peter was in full stride, and he could have just really gotten an excellent shot away on Gary Innes. So I think Pete was a little upset that he didn't get the puck.
It'll be Weir to work the face-off now against Mike Parizeau to Innes' right. Draw comes back on the near side. Hunter kept it in, throws to the corner. Inkpen behind the net for McLeod. Off the far boards, and Nugent completes the play, clearing it out to center ice. So we're outside the zone. In neutral territory now, Stan Weir picks it up, fires back into the racer end. Innes stops behind the cage, now throws it over to Kevin Nugent. Cleared to the point. Micheletti kept it in. His drive knocked away by the stick of Innes. Back to the near corner. Inkpen in there right away to tie up with Weir. Weir works it free at a bad angle. Tried to center. Back to Hamilton. His shot cleared away by the stick of Innes. Off the far boards. Again to the point. Hamilton to Hunter to Weir. Took a shot, and Inkpen got in front of it and blocked it. Inkpen hurting now after stopping that shot. Puck cleared to the far corner for Ace Bailey. Bailey in racer territory to Hunter behind the net. He tried to center, and McLeod clears it out of there and sends it back to center ice. Hamilton, right wing pass now for Weir. He's bumped, fired by McLeod in the far corner. McLeod took a lot out of him, and Leclerc chases it out to center ice, but it's going to be picked up by Micheletti. Micheletti and Nugent, rather Hunter and Nugent tie up now as Micheletti takes the puck back into the Oilers zone. Right side for Stan Weir. Up to Hunter. Dave Hunter across the line, flips back to the near corner. Puck clear to the near side. Glenn Irwin starts it out for the Racers to Dave Morrow. Morrow with it to center. Got inside the Oilers zone, and Micheletti plays it away. Now ahead to Ace Bailey. Garnet Bailey across the blue line. Inside the Racers zone. Slap shot. Innes to save. Cleared back to the near corner for Stoughton. Dumped to the point. Kept in by Micheletti. Micheletti feeds to the side of the net. Sobchuk at a bad angle. Knocked away. And Dave Morrow did a good job in there clearing it out. Now it goes over to Bruce Gregg, and Gregg starts it ahead to Blaine Stoughton. Here's Stoughton to center, across the blue line. Tried to feed it in front, nobody there. Back at the point, Hughes shooting! Fired it just wide of the net. Back off the near boards, and the Oilers started out. Here comes Chipperfield to the Racer blue line. Chipperfield, left wing side for Sobchuk. Tried to center, and Irwin knocks it free. Now they tie up behind the net. Dave Morrow finally clears it loose, but Sobchuk still has it. Here's Sobchuk with a puck. Back to the point for Edmonton's Dave Langevin. His shot knocked away by Innes, and it trickles to the far corner. Chipperfield nearly had it there for a moment. Now John Hughes starts it out up ahead to Blaine Stoughton off his stick. Puck goes to the far corner for Paul Schmuir. Baltimore on defense now with Hughes as the Racers change up. Cowboy Flett works it to center ice. Flett across the Racer blue line, winds up, shot is on target. Innes the stick save. Baltimore in the far corner. Missed Flett, comes out to Chipperfield, shooting! That trickles wide of the Racer goal. Back to the near point for Langevin, a drive! Deflected and hit the goalpost. Back to the near corner, and it's sent out to center ice, and it goes all the way down. We're back to pick it up now for the icing call, and play is stopped with 3:04 left to go in the second period. This is Indianapolis Racers hockey. Mike Forens with Al Carlander at Market Square Arena. Just 3:04 left here in the second period. Racers are really doing some battling here, especially on the defensive side, as Gary Innes coming up with some big saves moments ago to keep the score at 2-1. Driscoll from the face-off was knocked down. It goes to Larry Sacharuk of the Racers. Sacharuk tried to get by Driscoll. He's being hooked. No call on it. Puck was stolen. Cleared out to center ice now for Blair McDonald. McDonald checked by Sacharuk. Puck comes back to Al McLeod. Now Sacharuk throws it back inside the Edmonton zone. Langevin with it off the near boards. Driscoll tied up by Inkpen. Larway to McGregor, a shot. He fired it wide. Back to the near corner again. Larway back to the point for Inkpen. Takes the shot. Deflection. Score! Bob Larway! And a beautiful play as Larway deflected the puck home after the shot had been taken from the point by Inkpen. And the Racers have tied the game up at 2-2.
Mike, the pleasantest thing about this whole thing is that's what generally happens to the Racers. We'll get some kind of pressure on them in their end for a little bit of time, and they'll come down and score on us. But it was just the opposite here. Gary Innes made about 5 or 6 super saves. Edmonton was all over us in our end. We had one good rush, and we've got a tie hockey game.
Well, goaltender Eddie Mio has had his second puck slip by him. Let's pick up the call.
His 8th of the season to number 27, Don Larway. Assisted by number 2, Dave Inkpen. And number 11, Gary McGregor. Time in the goal, 17 minutes, 33 seconds.
McGregor gets his second assist of the night, and Larway gets the goal, his 8th of the year. Puck goes back to the near corner now for Dave Inkpen. Racers on the rush. They've tied the game up at 2-all. Here's Larway to center ice. Moving in across the blue line, pass behind McGregor. Knocked away by Driscoll. Larway still has it. Oh, he's run by Schmier. Puck was centered, but right there was McDonald. And Blair McDonald starts out. McGregor trips him. No call. Up to center ice, and Satcheruk took it away. And Peter Driscoll came in with a quick hook there as he got his stick right on the chest of Satcheruk. Now McGregor to the near corner. Tried to center, a shot. And a save made by Eddie Mio. Back to the near side for Inkpen. He's checked by Paul Schmier. Throws it in the corner. Driscoll and Inkpen bounce at one another. Back to the point for McLeod. Shooting! That went right to the goal crease. Deflected wide. Now the puck to the near side for Driscoll. We've got a penalty call coming up as Larway is going to go to the box along with Langevin.
Pretty good. Larway came out and he just gives Schmier just a good shot right in the back of the head, and he stayed right with him. Schmier didn't want anything to do with him. Actually, he backed away from him, and Langevin had to step in for Schmier. I think Don wanted something to do with either one of them, but neither one of them really wanted to go at it with him.
Well, Larway goes off the ice now with a penalty. And
Edmonton penalty to number
scored
26.
just moments ago.
Dave Langevin. 2 minutes for
also
high
off.
sticking. Racer penalty to number 27, Don Larway. 2 minutes for high sticking. 18 minutes, 34 seconds.
Penalties come at 18:34 for high sticking. Larway was the number 2 man in the Racers scoring race, right behind Blaine Stoughton until he got that goal. That was his 8th of the year. He's still in number 2 spot behind Blaine Stoughton, who has 16 points. Larway now with 15. Here's a shot and a goal. Baltimore got it. Right from the point. A slap shot by Brian Baltimore. And it trickles through everybody. And the Racers have now taken the lead 3-2 over the Oilers.
Seems like we've found a little bit of a hole between Eddie Mio's pads. I think all 3 of the goals have gone between his legs or just underneath him.
Big goal by the Racers, Brian Baltimore, who slaps one in from the point.
We had somebody in front of the net creating a screen there, and I'm not sure Eddie really had a look at it. I think he just went down and tried to cover as much of the net as he could. I'd have
Pick
to
up
think...
the announcement here.
Racer goal, his 2nd of the season. Welcome back, Brian Baltimore. Assisted by number 21, John Hughes, and number 16, Michel Parizeau. Time of the goal, 18 minutes, 41 seconds.
Play continues now. Renaud Leclerc to center ice. Got across the blue line. Tied up by Tajnar. We're in the final minute of play in the period. Puck goes to the corner. There's Parizeau in behind the net. Racers, a gutty hockey club right now. They're really out there scrapping. Baltimore. Back to Hughes. He winds. He fires. Score!
I can't believe these defensemen, Mike. They're going crazy out there.
John Hughes scores, and the Racers are ahead in the game, 4-2. Baltimore had scored moments ago. Satcheruk earlier in this period, and the Racers have accounted for every goal scored in this second period. 3 of the 4 goals have been scored by defensemen. And now we're up by 2 goals, 4-2 on the goal by John Hughes.
Baldy returned the favor to John Hughes. I think Hughes threw it across to Baldy when he scored. Baldy had a chance actually to take the shot, and he slid it across to John. It was a good play because John walked right in with it. I would not say that he didn't make any mistake. He blasted it up right through him. I think he just got as much as he could on the shot.
Let's pick up the announcement here. That's going to be all for Eddie Mio, I think. They're going to pull Mio out and put Dryden in.
I can't see how they can fault Eddie on any of those.
the crowd really giving it to Eddie Mio now with that Mio chant. They used to cheer him with that. Now they're razzing him about it.
Racer goal, his second of the season, to number 21, John Hughes. Assisted by number 5, Brian Baltimore, and number 16, Michel Parizeau. Time of the goal, 19 minutes, 13 seconds.
All right, play continues now as we're back inside the Racer zone, and the Oilers get one as Sobchuk hooks it by Gary Innes. Innes lost the puck from his glove in a goal-mouth scramble right to his left side. And a tough break there, Al. We had a 2-goal lead trying to finish out this period, and that will now shrink to a 1-goal margin.
I just think Gary couldn't find the handle on that when it was bouncing around. The shot from the point went right into the front end of the guy's feet.
And 11th of the season to number 10, Dennis Sobchuk. Assisted by number 3, Al Hamilton, and number 4, Joe Micheletti. Time of the goal, 19 minutes, 25 seconds.
Time running out here in the second period, only 25 seconds left. Racers 4, the Oilers 3 at Market Square Arena. Blaine Stoughton back into his own zone. Knocks the puck free. Here comes Stoughton out now to center ice. Blaine Stoughton across the blue line. Leads it back now to Dave Morrow. In front to Stoughton. Turnaround shot. Hit the side of the net. It goes to the far corner for McLeod. McLeod fights to keep it in. 2 seconds left in the period. Puck tied up at the far side. And that's going to be it for the second period of action here tonight as the Indianapolis Racers really fought back, and what a whale of a second period they put on, scoring 4 goals, 3 of them by defensemen, as they tie up and then take the lead over the Edmonton Oilers. Our score, after 2 periods of play, the Racers 4 and the Edmonton Oilers 3. When we come back, we'll have the recap of the second period of tonight's game. This is Indianapolis Racers hockey. Indianapolis Racers with a 1-goal lead over the Edmonton Oilers after 2 periods of play. Good evening once again, everybody. Mike Forens along with Al Carlander at Market Square Arena. Al, the Racers just caught fire during that second period. They were down 2-0 to the Edmonton Oilers, and I don't know we're going to end up having defensemen be our top scorers if this keeps up. What a show they put on with slap shots from the point, good passing plays. Everything happened out there. 3 of those 4 goals were scored by blue liners.
It was a super second period for the Racers. There's no question about that. And I think that the defensemen really took it to them. Like I said, they were standing up at our own end and really battling there. But as well, they were taking it right into the net. They were shooting the puck from the point. And I think the reason maybe a couple of them went in that wouldn't have earlier, the guys were in there screening and in the front of the net and creating a little bit of a screen for them. But as well, they were digging and fighting in the corners and getting the puck back to the point so they could get the good scoring opportunities, get the shots away.
We'll take him any way we can get him, that's for sure. But one guy who really deserves a lot of credit for getting a goal tonight was Larry Sacharuk, who was the first player to score for the Racers tonight. He's been needing that for a long time.
He has, and I mentioned during the play-by-play that, you know, he's had a lot of shots on net, but it was a great individual effort by him. He went end to end, and I think it was speed carried him right through those defensemen, and he got in and he just blasted that puck as hard as he could. He put a hard shot on Eddie Mio, and I think he forced it right between his pads.
So Sacharuk scoring his first. Bruce Gregg got the assist along with Gary McGregor at the 4:18 mark, and that got the Racers on the board. That made it a 2-1 hockey game at that point. Then at 17:33, Inkpen and McGregor set up Don Larway for his 8th of the year. And Inkpen with a good hard slap shot from the point. Larway got the goal, but Inkpen really took a lot of credit for it as a defenseman too. He set that whole thing up with a hard drive.
He did, and again, I think somebody was in the corner, dug it out, and got it out to the point, and then went for the front of the net. Don Larway went right for the front of the net, and when Inkpen took the shot, he really didn't beat Eddie Mio with the puck, but he changed the direction of it. And Eddie was down on his knees. He really couldn't move, and then when Larway changed the direction of the puck, it stuck right between them, and we had a tie hockey game.
That goal tied things up at 2-all. Shortly thereafter, the Racers took a 3-2 lead when Brian Baltimore was welcomed back to Market Square Arena, getting his second goal of the season, his first back in a Racer uniform. That made it 3-2. Baltimore with a shot right from the point that got by his former teammate Eddie Mio. I guess Baltimore was never a teammate of Mio's, though, with all the trades that have been going on. But in any event, Baltimore is second of the year from Hughes and Parizeau at 18:41. That was a big one because it put us in the lead.
It did, and I think, again, we had somebody in there screening. But Eddie, I don't know if he's off his game a little bit, but he went down really early on that shot, and that's not like Eddie. I think he was down, and he was on his knees again. He couldn't make the move or to make the save, and when the puck was there, he was kind of handcuffed, and Baldy he got a good shot away, had it low, and again it went right through Eddie.
So at that point, the Racers had a lead build-up of 3-2. Then John Hughes scored only seconds later at the 19:13 mark. For Hughes, his second of the year. Baltimore again assisting along with Parizeau as Hughes wound up and took a big drive from the point.
I think at this point, Eddie was really struggling a little bit. He was fighting everything that was shot at him, and fortunately, we were missing him with our shots. That came, all three of them came in a hurry, and Baldy slid the puck over to Hughesy. He was all alone. He walked in, he teed it up, and I think he shot it as hard as he could right at the middle of the net, and like I say, Eddie was fighting him, and it went in.
The Racers had a 2-goal lead of 4-2, and that lead shrunk to 4-3, but we're still ahead by 1 goal. Sobchuk got one, his 10th of the year, from Hamilton and Micheletti at 19:25, and that happened just after they had pulled goaltender Eddie Mio from the net and inserted Dave Dryden. You have to wonder there about what kind of strategies Glenn Sather might be employing. Pulling Mio at that point. You said he really couldn't be faulted. Maybe he just wanted to take the heat off of him for the rest of the period.
Maybe. You know, I don't know if I'd like to see Eddie come back out for the third period, but I think, like I said, Eddie was fighting the puck a little bit at that point. Maybe he just planned on giving them a little bit of a rest. But we gave up that goal right back again, Mike, and it's getting to be a habit. We can't do that. It wasn't a good goal either, really. They got lucky on it. Gary couldn't get the handle of it. It was bouncing around, and Sobchuk, I don't know, came out of nowhere, and he just picked it up and slid it into the open net. But it was a good play off the boards by Hamilton. He shot it into a bunch of players, and it was bouncing around. They got lucky, but we got the lead going in the third period, and we'll take that for sure.
We've got to have Gary Ennis as a very hot goaltender at this point, too, after the second period he came up with.
Really, for about 5 minutes there, before we scored those 3 goals in a row, Gary robbed him of about 6 or 7 super opportunities. He was making the saves, and, you know, when Eddie was at the one end, he was fighting the puck a little bit. I think Gary's confidence was so high at the other end, I think they could have lined him up right across without anybody there, and he would have saved him as well.
Okay, shots on goal during the second period. The Oilers 16, a 2-period total of 24, and the Racers with 8, a 2-period total of 18. So we've been outshot 24-18, but we're on top on the scoreboard by the score of 4-3 as we begin to prepare for the third period of tonight's game. But first, we've got an interview coming up with Claude LaRose, the man they call the Rocket, and he'll be with us in just a moment. This is Indianapolis Racers hockey. Back once again at Market Square Arena. Mike Thorne's the voice of the Racers with Claude LaRose, the man who the Racers are really missing in the lineup right now. First it was your ribs, then a problem with your knee, and it's kept you out of action for some time. We understand you just started skating again today. Claude, how'd it feel?
Yeah, I had treatments for 2.5 weeks at the community hospital, and Louis Greenwald, our physical therapist, took care of me, and I skated this morning. I had the okay from the doctor, Dr. Russell, and I skated not too bad this morning. You know, I felt about 50% good, but I still have a little pain on my knee, and maybe, and I hope, I'm optimist when I'm saying that. I hope I'll be able to play against the Soviets Saturday.
Claude, I know there's a lot of concern in the Racer front office about your condition with the knee. At first, they weren't sure what it was. It hurt you a lot, you knew that, but they weren't really able to diagnose that injury. They didn't know what it was that was bothering you, and I guess surgery was considered at one point.
Yeah, when I heard it, I had so much pain on the ice, and when I went to the dressing room, you know, the doctor looked at it, and they twisted my knee, all kinds of position, and I felt, a lot of pain when they bent it from the outside of my knee, so they weren't sure if it was a bone or a chip bone, or and the next day I went to the hospital and they took x-rays, and my bone were okay, but 2 days later they sent me to the hospital again for an arthrogram. So they inject dye and hair on my knee, and they took about 36 pictures of it, to see about my cartilage and my ligaments. So, and they found out that my cartilage was torn a little bit, and I was gonna have treatment for 2 or 3 weeks now.
Well, Claude, I know that when you get back in the lineup, the Racer fans will be glad to see, and you'd almost think you were playing out there tonight in that second period. That's your type of game, what we had with all that shotgun offense going.
I was really exciting when the guys came back. We were 2 downs, and the guys didn't quit, and that's the kind of hockey we're going to play for the next games. And I'm really glad that Balti got that goal tonight, and it's going to help him. He was a little down, but guys came around and scored 4 goals, and we're back in the game now.
Claude, the Oilers are a team who so far this year we have not been able to beat, and that's got to be something that's concerning us just a little bit. The one time we played them here, they beat us by the score of 4-3. It was a very close game. This is shaping up as a pretty close one, too.
Yeah, all the games we played against Edmonton were pretty close, and we play about the same type of hockey they play. Up and down the ice like tonight. It's a really exciting hockey game, and it's why we have our defensemen. We play the same kind of defensive game, hockey game too. So it's why the game is so tight, close.
But if you come back Saturday night against the Soviets, that's going to be kind of a strange way to come back after having an injury to your leg. That's going to be a very big skating type of game, won't it be, against the Soviet Union?
I know. I played about 2 or 3 times the Soviet, and they're really skating. They're really moving. And
you sure you want to test your knee against a club like that?
That's probably the best team to test my knee against.
If it's going to go against the Soviets, it's going to go against anybody.
I'm going to go all the way, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Claude, we'd like to thank you for taking the time to stop by and talk with us here at the second intermission. We've got a gift certificate here for you from Fogel's Gentlemen's Quarters Menswear. They're the stars in fashion in Indianapolis. This will get you $25 worth of clothing out at their Keystone Square Carmel store at 116th and Keystone. Thanks so much for the visit.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Claude LaRose, our guest at the second intermission of tonight's game. When we come back, play-by-play from period number 3. This is Indianapolis Racers hockey. Left side for Sobchuk, puts it behind the Indianapolis net. Now Cowboy Flett tied up there by John Hughes. Sticks come high in the far corner. Larway and Sobchuk rifle at one another, and the shot is cleared wide off the glass. Now Satcheruk sends it all the way down to relieve the pressure. Micheletti back to pick it up for what should be an icing call. No way! Stolen by McGregor. His backhand shot cleared out of there by Dave Dryden in the net. Now here come the Oilers again. Hamilton with it out to Sobchuk. Sobchuk on the left wing side. Puts it back inside the Racer zone. Flett back to tie up with Hughes, and they collide. Puck goes back to Larry Satcheruk. Satcheruk behind the Racer goal. We're tied up at 4-4. Pass off the right wing side for Larway off his skates out to center. Taken back now by Sobchuk, and he'll clear it ahead on left wing to Grettzky. Grettzky got by Baltimore, but not before Innes was there, and Innes way out, clears it. Puck was hit now with a high stick, and we'll have a face-off just outside the Indianapolis blue line with 2:59 left to go here in the first half of the third period.
Like, we almost got into some trouble there in our own end, and it was because we were changing on the go when the puck was still in our own end. You can't do that. And if you're tired and you're out there and you want to get a line change, you have to wait till that puck's way out neutral ice and you have possession, or if it's in the other end, then you change. You don't change when the puck's in your own end. You're needed then.
Dave Inkpen, a right wing pass too far off the stick of Blaine Stoughton, goes into the Oilers zone. Langevin with it now, out quickly to McDonald. 2-on-2 break with Grettzky. McDonald up across the Racer line, carries to the near point, flips it in front. Grettzky homing in for the net, but never touched the puck. It goes to the corner. Here's Dave Inkpen to start out now for the Racers. Flips it ahead to center ice. Bruce Gregg comes in and takes it. Here's Gregg across the line. Gregg trying to get in front, knocked away by Langevin. At the point, puck was cleared, and play stopped now by referee Ron Ego. We're going to have a face-off out in the neutral zone as, again, the puck was hit with a high stick. Well, on December 30th, as a pre-New Year's Eve celebration, the Racer Booster Club is organizing a mass invasion of Riverfront Coliseum, trying to get 1,000 hockey nuts to go cheer the Racers on. Whether you're a Booster Club member or not, you can be a part of it. Stop by the Racer Booster Club booth at any home game for all the details on that trip to Cincinnati, December 30th. Peter Driscoll tried to clear it ahead, finally got it to McDonald. Left wing side for Grettzky across the line. Back it goes, and McDonald backhands one wide. Off the near boards now for Bruce Gregg. Gregg in the near corner of his own zone, gave to McLeod, knocked away by McDonald out front of the net. And Dave Morrow starts it out for the Racers. Looking for the go-ahead goal, a 4-on-2 break. Right wing side for Stoughton. Winds, fires, kicked out by Dryden. Taken back by Langevin. Langevin now behind the goal, hit there by Stoughton. Works it out to the point. McLeod kept it in. Right side pass at the point. Driscoll will knock it by Inkpen. At center ice, Dave Inkpen to pick it up now for the Racers. 1:30 left to go, first half of the third period. Back to McLeod, to Morrow. Up across the blue line. Dave Morrow takes a shot. It hit Bruce Gregg. Into the corner, Paul Schmier ties up with Stoughton. Finally, Driscoll of the Oilers takes it back. He's checked on the play. Dave Morrow has it. Morrow, a shot knocked down by Langevin, cleared in front of the net, and finally knocked away by Dryden himself. Now again, Langevin tries to clear it. He does. It goes right on goal, though, and Innes makes the save. No icing. It'll be McLeod back to pick it up. 1 minute left until the break. Here comes Inkpen to center ice. Right side pass, Parizeau. Hustles across the line into the far corner. He's behind the goal. Centers to Leclerc. Shot, and a goal! René Leclerc puts us back on top 5-4. And a beautiful play as Parizeau hustled in. He took it behind the net, and he fed it right out front. Leclerc was there and just threw it by, driving into the goal, and the Racers are back on top 5-4.
Rene got that shot away in a hurry, and I think that's why he scored. As soon as that puck touched his net, his stick really, he had it into the net. A lot of good hustle there by Mike Perizzo. He went down there. He beat him because he was
Racer
in full
goes
stride.
fifth of the season to number 8, Rennie Leclerc. Assisted by number 16, Michel Perizzo. And number 2, Dave Inkpen. Time in the goal, 9 minutes, 7 seconds.
So the Racers are back on top again, 5-4. A big goal by Rennie Leclerc. Micheletti chasing to the far corner now for the Oilers. Starts it out to Stan Weir. Right wing side, it goes to Bailey. Ace Bailey back to the near corner. Tried to center it, knocked away. And Leclerc starts back. The man they call the count. Up to center ice. Weir steals the puck now and drops it back to Micheletti. Joe Micheletti. Smart young defenseman for the Oilers. Flips it back to the near corner. In behind the net, Ace Bailey back there to tie up with Kevin Nugent. Finally, Leclerc clears it. On the near side is Hamilton. Tried to center, but there is Baltimore to take it back to John Hughes. Up ahead to Nugent. Nugent, right wing past Leclerc. Here's Leclerc. He's flying across the blue line. Back to the near corner. Tried to center it, and Weir was there to play it free from Nugent. There's the horn now to signal the end of the first half of the third period. This is Indianapolis Racers hockey. Happy crowd here at Market Square Arena. The Racers on top 5-4, Al, as we're all set to go with the final 10 minutes of tonight's game, and the Racers have come alive again here in the third period.
Really, we got some super hockey going out here. I think that second period is the best period of hockey we've witnessed in a long, long time, and this third period's about the same.
Puck cleared now across the line, back inside the Oilers zone. Sacharuk, a shot that was knocked away. Now here's McGregor chasing on the far corner. Cowboy Flett took it back, gave it up to McGregor. McGregor in Oiler ice. Tried to back it up to Larway, but it's cleared, and Sobchuk takes it to center. Right wing pass. Too far. Cowboy Flett chasing it. Took a shot from a bad angle. Ennis made the save. Now it's back to McLeod. McLeod had been shot from the Racer side of center ice. And we'll go back inside the Indianapolis zone now for the draw. Racer players wanted me to say thank you to the Racer Booster Club for just a super Christmas party they had the other night. A lot of the players were able to bring their children, and everybody had a great time. Racer Booster Club, as always, did a knockout job. So thanks to the Booster Club for a super Christmas party. Racers trying to reward those fans here with a victory tonight. Micheletti at the point winding, firing, deflected wide. Back to the near corner, Driscoll chasing it. Ties up there as Baltimore in to push him around. Now it's cleared to the near side. Driscoll, or rather Gretcki and Morrow push and shove. Finally, it is Morrow starting out to Blaine Stout at his own blue line. To John Hughes, flips to center ice. Too far for Morrow, back in the near corner of the Oilers zone. Micheletti back to pick it up. Joe Micheletti clear to the point, kept in by Bruce Gregg. Lost the puck as Gretcki took it back. Wayne Gretcki, former Racer, to center ice. Right side for McDonald. McDonald across the line. Into the corner for Gretcki. At the side of the net. Knocked away. Bruce Gregg took it free. Now they go behind the goal, and McDonald is there to tie up with Gregg. And Bruce Gregg hangs on as Blair McDonald really was run hard by John Hughes, and McDonald hit his head. He does not wear a helmet. And looks like Blair's all right. He bounced right out of that one, and he's okay.
Blair's a pretty tough individual. He's taken a lot of knocks in his day, but I don't think he's missed too many games from injuries and whatnot. He's generally got pretty good control of himself out there. He doesn't get hit too many times with too much authority. We got guys coming back, Mike, tonight like we haven't maybe in the past, and picking up those loose pucks in front of them. Now, we had a case there where Gretcki and McDonald had a good chance, and the puck was loose, and Brucey Gregg was right there to pick it up. Everybody's been doing that tonight.
This time it was Inkpen who was jammed against the backboards by Hunter, but he threw the puck over to Al McLeod. McLeod for the Racers to Kevin Nugent. Checked on the play. Worked out to Dave Hunter. Hunter takes a shot. That's deflected wide. Into the far corner is Nugent. Tries to start it out. Got it outside the line now to McLeod. Up ahead for Perizzo, left wing side. Perizzo flips to the side of the Oiler net. Back to Leclerc in the near corner. Leclerc with the Racer go-ahead goal here back at the 9:07 mark. Lost the puck. Hunter brings to center. Right side for Ace Bailey. And his slap shot sails up into the stands now. And a souvenir there for a fan in the third row. Good catch.
We got a little bit of jostling going on right now out there. Ace Bailey's poking his nose in there. He's always been great for that his whole career. He pokes his nose in there, but he doesn't poke it in too often when there isn't a linesman around to intercept most of the things that are happening. I don't think anything too serious right now. We got an awful tight hockey game, and both these clubs are fighting awful hard out there.
Face-off will be at the top of the, well, just between the left face-off circle and the blue line here with 7:08 left to go in this game. Racers on top 5-4.
Ace Bailey was a tough man in Boston back in the days when 2 or 3 guys could get into a fight. That's when he was at his best. At that point, you know, when you fought one guy, you didn't worry so much about the guy you were fighting. It was the other guy that was going to pull your feet out or push you around, give you, knock you down so one guy could jump on you.
Puck cleared to the far corner. There is McLeod to play it. Now goes behind the net. Leads it back on the near side. Langevin tried to center for Flett, but Nugent takes it away. Now Nugent bumped off the puck. It's cleared to the near corner. McLeod to the far side with Schmier. They jam up again. It's work free. Nugent in there to try and tie it up. Work free now as it comes out for Chipperfield. Back to Schmier. Back to the point for Langevin. Left wing corner now inside the Racer zone, and they tie up. Sobchuk in there along with Inkpen and Leclerc. Worked out to the point. Winding is Langevin. Shoots. Hit the side of the net. Cleared back to the near corner. Inkpen watches as Leclerc goes in. He's hit by Sobchuk. Still hangs on. And they finally freeze the puck now as we've got Parizeau and Chipperfield cross-checking one another now, and I think Ron Ego is going to send both of them to the penalty box. Chipperfield and Leclerc, or rather Chipperfield and Parizeau. Now it's Flett and Parizeau trying to get at one another. Parizeau, I think, it had just about all he was going to take from Chipperfield in front there.
Well, I think the Edmonton Oilers are really forechecking us strong right now, especially along the boards. Every time we try to clear that puck out, there's 2 or 3 of them there, and they've really been bearing down on our guys. I don't know if Chipperfield maybe come down on Mike along the boards or some, or if they're just fighting for that really stayed in front of the net. But things are pretty hot out there right now.
Racer penalty to number 16, Michel Parizeau, 2 minutes for slashing. Time of the penalty is 13 minutes, 37 seconds.
So both players go to the penalty boxes now for slashing, and we'll have 4 skaters aside here with 6:23 left to go in the third period. Racers right now guarding a 5-4 lead. They are trying to improve, especially on their home record, as the club right now in the season has won but 3 games on the year at home. They have won only 1 on the road and 4 overall. So it'd be nice to get back on the winning side of things. The club right now has lost 3 games in a row going into this game tonight. The Oilers have lost 4 in a row, so I don't think they wouldn't like to salvage a victory here on this road trip, which has been just disastrous for them. The Oilers haven't won once on their recent trip to Quebec, Birmingham, or New England. Puck cleared back to the near corner now, and Baltimore goes after it. Brian Baltimore to start out for the Racers. Right wing side for Larway. Larway to center, across the line. He's by Schmier. Into the corner. Cowboy Flett was all over him, and no call. John Hughes back to center ice. Gives to McGregor. Across the line. McGregor shoots. Save made by Dryden. Cleared to the corner, and McGregor knocks it away. Back to the near side for Dennis Sobchuk. Sobchuk with a puck. Held by Larway. Comes back to Langevin, and this time Larway was held, and again no call. Cowboy Flett to start it out, drops it back to Schmier. Schmier to center ice, right wing side for Flett. Back to the near point, Larway knocked it free. Don Larway trying to move it ahead on the right wing. Walks in with McGregor. The pass, took it behind the net, tried to center, it's knocked away. And McGregor takes behind the goal and runs into Schmier. McGregor trying to dig it free. Out to Don Larway. Larway with a puck. At a bad angle, bumped off his skates by Langevin. Now we finally get a penalty. Holding against Langevin, and it's about time. Racers should have had a power play going here for about 25 or 30 seconds, but Ronigo will call a penalty here against the Oilers with 5:19 left to go in the third period. Langevin off the ice with a holding call, we expect.
Edmonton penalty to number 26, Dave Langevin, 2 minutes for holding. Time of the penalty, 14 minutes, 41 seconds.
The biggest sin you can commit, Mike, in a 2-on-1 situation, and which you have the advantage of, or a 3-on-2 situation, is that you don't get a shot on net. Now, Gary McGregor and Don Larway have had 2-on-1s tonight. Both times Don was carrying the puck, and we ended up not getting a shot on net. When both times he should have taken the shot. But in that case there, his constant hustle in there and fighting for the puck, they had to drag him down, and he made them draw a penalty. So we got a power play situation. Hopefully we can get a goal on it.
Stoughton is at center, Leclerc on the right side, Satcheruk at the point with Dave Morrow. Oilers will only have 3 skaters now out for the next 57 seconds. Micheletti is on with Al Hamilton and Dennis Sobchuk. Dryden plays his part by clearing to the far side. It's still inside the Oilers zone. Edmonton with a good chance to clear here as Micheletti picks a spot along the boards and sends it all the way down. Still plenty of time on the Racer power play. 4-3 advantage right now with the manpower situation. Here's Leclerc to start out. Drops it back to Sachera. Racers to center ice. Left wing side to Dave Morrow. Morrow across the line. Tried to feed Stoughton. Knocked away by McDonald, and he clears it back inside the Indianapolis zone. McDonald up front now as Hamilton and Micheletti stay back. Sobchuk gone to the bench. Here's Larry Sacherack across the blue line now. Puts it back inside the Oilers zone. Micheletti plays it. That's off the near boards and back into Racer territory. 8 seconds left on those minor penalties now, and Innes plays it free. Back to the far boards. Racers not playing their positions very well here to break the zone. Innes behind the net again tomorrow. All right, we've got Parizeau out of the box now, as well as Chipperfield. 55 seconds left on the power play for the Racers as Langevin is off for holding. 5-4 lead for Indianapolis. Dave Morrow up to center ice. Tripped there by McDonald briefly, still has possession. Brings to Sacherack. Here we go, across the line. Satch winds, fire, score! Oh, what a big goal by Larry Sacherack.
When I mentioned he had a slump earlier, he's certainly broken it here tonight.
Larry Sacherack winds up and delivers a booming slap shot that got between the pads of Dryden, and we're on top by 2.
Big goal.
Sacherack across the line and just sent it right between the pads. Dryden must have left just a small spot right there as an opening, but Sacherack found it. It's a 6-4 lead our side.
I think we'll see a lot more production out of Sacherack after tonight's game. I think he's been waiting a long time for that first goal, and I think he's got his confidence going now. He's shooting that puck with a lot more authority. I think he's shooting it now and thinking it's going in the net.
Big goal for Satch. We'll pick up the announcement.
Racer goal, his second of the night and second of the season to number 4, Larry Sacherack. Assisted by number 18, Dave Morrow. Time of the goal, 16 minutes, 1 second.
So the Racers now on top 6-4 as we go back inside.